all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of GMS, and to the elect doing the work in sincerity and in truth. I want to say shalawam. My name is Zark Hud, GMS Precepts, and as you can see in the title, I want to add on to the full-blown blitzkrieg on Christianity, man, because Christianity was probably one of the most single, is one of the downfalls of our people, you see, and the result of Christianity has been around for thousands of years, and it hasn't gotten any better. There hasn't been any improvement in the state of our people. You see, this is why the number one, the first commandment is to not worship any other god, man. Right? This is why the scriptures speak about taking water or drinking water out of thy own cistern. Right? So Christianity is not of our people, man. You see? Right? This is why, which is part of the curses, Jeremiah 17:4, we shall discontinue from our heritage. The reason why we're in this decline as a people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we lost our heritage. You see? But I pose a question: why is it the Christians don't speak about the return of the Lord? You see, because if you call yourself a follower of Christ, I hate using that word, a follower of Christ, right, or a follower of Yahawashi, your number one concern should be the return of the Lord. That should be your number one focus. When is he coming? How is he coming? What spirit is he going to be coming in? Is he angry? Is he going to be happy? And the answers are in the scriptures. The scriptures speak about how the Lord is going to return. The Lord is going to return very, very angry, man. Why? Because he has a score to settle. Okay? He has judgment to execute. It speaks about when the Lord returns, he's going to come as that conquering Lion of Judah. Okay? He's going to come in the spirit to judge. The first time he came in the spirit to, he came in that spirit of that sacrificial lamb. Okay? And to spread the gospel. But this, and then in turn to be sacrificed for for our people, for our transgressions. Right? But the second time around, the second time he returns, he's going to come in the spirit of judgment. And the number one, so as a Christian or a follower of Christ, your number one concern should be when that time, when he returns, right? But in these churches, they give, by way of 501c3 charter, they're prevented from talking about the return of the Lord. That should concern any follower of Christ, any Christian. It should be very concerning to you why these churches and these establishments are being basically paid off not to speak about the return of the Lord. Okay? When in the scriptures, it tells you about the return of the Lord. It warns you about, look, because you got to think of it like this. The return of the Lord is probably the single most scariest, fearful time. It's the single most important time, not in human human history, but in human existence, right? If you want to say it's second to the creation of the whole of the whole world, you can say that. But but the return of the Lord is number two, definitely, because a lot of things are going to take place, and it's going to be the most fearful time. Let me just get that. Let me get it. Matthew, the 24th chapter. Right? If you call yourself a Christian or a follower of Christ or Yahawashi, which is his true name, it should be very concerning to you how he's going to return, or what spirit is he going to return it. Let me get this is Matthew's 24 and 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation." Right? And now we know that the Matthew's the 24th chapter is speaking about the return of the Lord. It's speaking about the disciples asked him, "When are you going to return?" and he gave him a whole breakdown. Look, he informed the disciples, which the disciples, they represent the elect, right? He told them things that were going to happen before before he returns, and there's going to be wars and rumors of wars, pestilence, diseases, mass death. It's going to be a lot of trouble. It's going to be it's going to be very scary times, right? This is Matthews 21, 24, and 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. So the time that is approaching is going to be the worst time in history. It's going to be worse. It's not going to be comparable to any time. It's going to be the most fearful time in the present and in the future. It's going to be uncomparable. That's how fearful and dreadful it's going to be. So we're approaching, and this is referring to the return of the Lord. If you go to a Christian church on Sunday, they'll have you thinking it's going to be the most beautiful, peaceful time ever, right? But the scriptures speak about it's far from it. And this is why. And so again, I raise a question: why do Christians not speak about this? Right? Why do Christians not go into the topic or subject of the return of the Lord? Because according to these scriptures, it's going to be a very dreadful time, man. Same thing in Daniel's. Oh, Joel, it says what? It says it's in Daniel's. Matter of fact, let me get Daniel's 12, and then I'll go to Joel. Right? Shit. Slovakia. Get Daniel's 12. Right. This is Daniel's 12:1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Right? So it's saying it's going to be a lot of trouble ever going back to the creation up until this time. There is not going to be as much trouble, atrocity, as much death as it's going to be prior to the Lord returning. Such as never was since. So I'll read it again. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered. So this is speaking about the deliverance. This is speaking about the Lord's return, right? Because of when the Lord returns, he's going to come back to what? Deliver that remnant, right? And that's another thing these Christians, these wacky tackies don't speak about. They don't speak about what the Lord is going to, like, when he comes back, who is he going to deliver? There's a thing of deliverance. Who is he going to deliver? Who's he going to save? Right? But they'll get all type of scriptures to twist that up. But it speaks about a remnant, right? A chosen, right? A group of people being delivered, not the whole world. Right? It says, and at that time shall thy people be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Right? So we're going to go to Joel. I mean, I could just read that whole second chapter, which I might do. Shoot over to Joel. Chapter 2. Here we go. I mean, damn, where can I'll just start at 1. It says, Joel, the second chapter, and this is speaking about the return of the Lord, right? How is the Lord going to return? And why don't Christians speak about the return of the Lord? Because it's going to get rid of your congregation, man. Right? Because, you know, churches, they only speak about the good things, or they twist scriptures up. But they don't want, they want to stay away from the scriptures concerning the Lord's return, when that should be your number one focus. Right? As a follower of Christ. Blow ye the trumpet. This is Joel 2:1. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy city. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So this is the time to tremble, man. Right? One way that's talking about back then. No, we're speaking about for the day of the Lord cometh. So we know what the day of the Lord is. The day of the Lord is when the Lord returns. Yahawashi returns, man. Right? And in the beginning it said what? Let all the inhabitants tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Okay, so this is speaking about the day of the Lord. And we know what the day of the Lord consists of. It's when the Lord returns, man. Verse 2, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and strong, there hath not ever been the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Once again, it's going into what Matthew 24 said, 24 and 21, what Daniel's 12 and 1 said, and once again in Joel, the 2nd chapter. All those three scriptures are talking about when the Lord returns, man. So it's a common theme of it repeating. There's not gonna be a time like when the Lord returns. It's gonna be a day of trouble, a day of darkness, a day of gloomy, and it's not giving you a weather report, by the way. Right? It's not telling you, oh, when the Lord comes, it's gonna be cloudy, it's gonna be hazy, partly cloudy, 60% chance of rain. No, it's not saying that. It's metaphorically saying it's going to be a dark and gloomy time, man. Wonder why Christians don't want to go into this, man. Right? Verse 3, and once again it reiterates. It says, I read that last part again. It says, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Meaning, the time that when the Lord returns, it's not going to be a time like this ever again, man. It's not going to be a time like this ever again. And that time, we're vastly approaching that time, man, where it's gonna get bad, man. This is why the Lord left the comforter to be able to comfort us, man. Isaiah 33 and 6. Let me get it right quick. Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be what? The stability of thy times and strength of salvation. For the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So we're going to need this as well as faith, right? We're going to need this to get to feel stable when all hell breaks loose. Everybody else is going to be going crazy, post-traumatic stress. They're going to see death everywhere they turn. You know, their hearts are going to fail from fear. And that's before the Lord cracks the sky, man. That's before the Lord's even here yet. You see? It's going to be some bad times, man. Let me go back to Joel. Verse 3, it says, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. What is that talking about? That fire is talking about those ICBM missiles. You see? It's talking about those missiles that those nations, you know, these nations are that are investing a lot of their money into. Why would these nations invest so much money and so much effort and concentration into making weapons, because the Spirit of the Lord has him doing that, man. The Most High is putting the Spirit in these nations to just focus on missiles. Why? That is the Lord's weapon of his indignation. He's going to allow these nations to use those weapons to shoot over here in America. All right. Verse 4, it says, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Right? It's comparing those missiles. It's comparing those missiles to horsemen. Right? They're gonna fly over here. It's gonna be like you know, those missiles are gonna just shoot over here, and it's comparing a horseman. Like in the ancient war, you would have your archery unit. You would have your horsemen, right? You would have them in array, in battle formation. It's comparing that. It's comparing the missiles to the horsemen as they align themselves in battle formation. It says before them the garden of, let me go up a verse. It says before them the land is as a garden of Eden before them, but behind them a desolate wilderness. Meaning, before it touches down on the earth, it's gonna be peace. It's gonna be, birds chirping, church. It's gonna be, it's gonna be it's gonna be intact. But after those missiles drop on the ground, it's gonna be a desolate wilderness, man. Right? And that's Joel. Oh, it might be, yeah. It says what? It says Egypt shall be a desolate. It's right here. Joel 3:19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. You see? That's how the Most High is going to leave this place. So that's part of the return of the Lord, man. You see? I'll read a little bit more. Where I'm at. Right, battle array, verse 6. Joel 2:6. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Now, speaking about those missiles, man, there's not going to be one missile that runs out of gas. There's not going to be one missile that's pointed and coming over here to the land of America, or AKA Babylon, and change his mind and say, you know what, let me go back, or let me shoot off to, I'm gonna explode in the ocean. There's too many innocent babies here. Let me divert. No, it says, and they shall not break their ranks. It says, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and they shall fall upon the sword. They shall not be wounded. So you're not going to have one that bump into each other. You see? They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows as a thief. Right? It's gonna go up in the atmosphere, and it's gonna go through those windows in the ozone layer, and it's gonna come down. It's gonna hit his mark. The earth shall quake before them. Did I skip a verse? Nope. Verse 10. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide it? The only ones that are going to be able to abide the day of the Lord are the elect, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be delivered up out of there right? And they're going to be in that chariot looking down. What's that, Revelation? They're going to be looking down upon the destruction of America and witnessing what Revelation refers to as a lake of fire. That's how much. Hey, it tells you in Joel, the third chapter is going to be, Egypt shall be a desolation. Peter's, it says the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So it's going to be some very bad times. This is a topic that Christians don't want to touch. They don't want to go into that. They do not want to touch into that, especially vocab, no cab. His main focus is he's trying to weasel his way in there, man. As far as the Israelite, the Gentiles, he's trying to weasel. No, the Lord's salvation is for everybody. No, it's not. Okay, salvation is only for the elect nation, or the remnant of the nation of Israel, and that's repeated throughout all these scriptures. You see? All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Lord willing, you brothers are Lord willing, you brothers and sisters were edified. Until the next show, next time, shalawam.